What's up, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Neon Veil. I'm really excited for today's episode. I have someone who has an amazing story, and we have a little video to go with it, so it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in really quick. What's up, Billy? How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm really excited for you to be here. I'm really excited to hear this, especially your first trip to Vegas, and it sounds... From what I've seen and what I've heard, it sounds hilarious. I can't wait to show this video to everybody. So we'll, go ahead and give me a little background about yourself, and then we'll just jump into the story.
All right. Well, my name is Billy. I've been on the internet for a little bit, and mainly I just like following good people and try to support others as best I can. And not really much to tell, but yeah, I'm from the Midwest, so okay. This is my first trip to Vegas. I was just going with a friend of mine, and he was just like, hey, why don't we just spend a weekend there? And I had never been, so I was like, yeah, sure. And ended up having a great time there.
How long ago was this?
October.
Oh, so it was oh, okay.
Yeah,
that
very recent.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I saw a friend of mine tweeted you. Or I think I just saw you on my timeline, and it was like, if anybody has a good Vegas story, and I was just like, yeah, I got a good one. I mean, it's not super long, but it's pretty interesting.
I think it's very interesting from what I know. So I guess, where did you stay when you guys came? Where did you what hotel did you stay at?
The Aria.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's a good first place to stay at.
Oh, you wouldn't believe the price my buddy ended up paying for two people for 3 nights. It was really good.
Astronomical, right? Yeah. Was the room nice at least?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a picture of that as well. I should have sent you that as well.
I think, you know what you sent me is going to be perfect for this. I've actually never stayed at the Aria. I've been here 5 years. I've been here, and I visited every year since I was a kid. Never stayed there. And so was it like an overly nice room? Like, were you expecting it better than what you expected?
No, it was really nice. We had a very good view. The beds were awesome. They were rock solid. The bathrooms were really cool. There was a big tub in one of them. We didn't end up using it, but it was just cool to know that it was just there.
So viewers, if you take your significant other, no, Aria has big tubs. So that's always a plus for people to know about.
Yeah, it is definitely like, for sure, people were doing it in those kinds of hotels. Just like, I don't know when, but it's definitely one of those things where it was really nice.
So you know it's happening, basically. You know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's called Sin City for a reason.
You're telling me. So okay, so you guys came in. Was it over the weekend, type of thing, or?
Yeah, it was during the weekday.
Okay.
Because I had went and visited LA a few days after the day after we finished Vegas. We just drove to LA, and I spent the remaining time there. Spent like maybe 4 days there. It was a really nice trip.
Easy drives, like 5 hours, something like that, 5-6 hours.
Yeah, we just spent a whole day road tripping, and it was very long, and we were very exhausted by the end, but it was worth it.
Worth it. One of those best trips. Okay, so you guys get here, you check in. What do you do? What did you come to Vegas to do?
Oh, we just hit up all the slot machines. We took me downtown Vegas, saw all the, there were some places I recognized, like a Heart Attack Grill. Didn't actually go in there because I would not have finished the food.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man. It was just this huge archway with there are lights everywhere, and it can be sensory overload.
Right.
At times, because there are so many blinking lights. We just ended up playing slots. We didn't win anything because that temptation it's real.
All the noises and the sound.
Yeah, and
lights.
You got to quit while you're ahead.
Right.
And I did not do that. But yeah, we visited some of the hotels, or we saw them in passing. It's like that's where Elvis performed, and even went down, like, we were just driving down the strip, and just saw Rick Harrison's pawn shop, which was packed. I mean, appropriately. And I had really wanted to see the Bellagio
Mhm.
lights because I love Ocean's 11.
Right.
And I figured, hey, this is my first time in Vegas. I'm not expecting any hangover type shit, but like, I don't know if we could swear.
Oh yeah, you can
But
now, whatever. Yeah.
okay, yeah. And I just went down to see the light show because I know they were going to do that by the fountains.
Hmm.
And it's this huge, essentially just, it's like a small lake. And there was, there's people, there's vendors and stuff, and there's a lot of people trying to sell you stuff, but there's a couple homeless people too. I just saw homeless people like going under stairs to sleep, and it's not as bad as LA, but
Right.
there was just this one homeless dude, and he was just going over, and I was like, oh man, what's he gonna do? Just started to take his shirt off, and he had no shoes, no socks or anything. I kept my distance, of course, but people were encouraging him, just like, jump in, jump in. And so he did. He just dove right in there in that nasty water. And I just thought that's probably the first bath he
That
ended up taking in a long time.
And so I'm really glad you have this. So I'm going to play the video for everybody. This is the video.
I hope not. Yeah, and he did that for like, it was like a full 5 minutes, and I was expecting the cops to come, but no, it was
Nothing.
nothing. Nobody said a word. Everybody was cheering him on, encouraging, and then when he was done, he just got out, put his clothes right back on, and yeah, a couple people high-fived him. It was weird. I'd never seen anything like that. I like, usually you see public disturbances and stuff, but I
Right.
had never seen it just completely, like, nobody cared. Like, it was just another day in Vegas.
So it's funny. I asked some friends after you sent me that video. I asked some friends about that, and uh, now that you say October, that does seem familiar. That someone I know heard this story before, like heard about it from someone else, because that doesn't happen as often as you would think here in Vegas. Like I've seen some things, but to see someone dive into that water and swim around like that with the crowd cheering them on is incredible. And luckily, the fountains weren't going during that time. I hope
No, thankfully the
he got
fountains were
out
not
before
going.
that because
No,
that
it
would
was
not have been
after
good.
the show, and it was just like, I guess, a little break in between. And yeah, what just amazed me though was that nobody called anybody to get him out for uh causing a public disturbance.
So
You would you would you would think, as public a place, and it's a big place. There was a lot of people. It's a big
right?
stretch of land. You'd think that somebody would call something, but no, it was just it's just this homeless dude, just, and he was totally fine. I mean, he looked crazy as hell, but he didn't hurt anybody.
Just popped on out and went about his day.
Yeah, pretty much. And I
Yeah.
and then I just went over and had drinks with a friend of mine I literally was just like, okay, you don't see this every day. And I posted on Twitter, and another friend of mine, was like, "Get out of here! We're at the Cosmo right now, having drinks." And he's just like, "You want to come?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we ended up just having drinks there, and it was really nice.
At the Cosmo, did you go to like the Chandelier Bar? Is that kind of where in that
Yeah,
area?
yeah. And I never gone into one of those bars for like I've been in casinos before, but
A
um,
bar specific type thing, yeah.
yeah, because usually, I figured you just had to have a bunch of money to get in there,
Right.
and those drinks are very expensive. But no, he was like, "I don't drink, and I have a tab, and Go for it.
Just hang out there. That's awesome. That's cool. Would you recommend that to other people for like a cool spot to hang out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What else? Like any other spots bar wise you guys hung out, or did you kind of just stay to the casino floors?
We mainly stayed at the casino floors. Went to the big betting room at the Caesar,
Oh
the
wow.
sports betting room,
Yeah.
and those chairs were just so comfy that we wanted to sleep. I was explaining to my friend the rules of baseball because, well, he's not from America, and
Oh.
I mean, like he um he lives in America, but he grew up in Mexico, and he didn't grow up with baseball.
Okay.
And I was trying to explain the rules, and he just looked at me. He was just like, "That's a very complicated game." He's not wrong.
No, there's a lot of rules to baseball. I'm hardcore baseball lover, so
But
uh,
then, as I was explaining, Aaron Judge hit his 62nd home run that season.
oh, you got to watch that.
I got to watch that
That's amazing.
and there was all the games happening at the same time. And I'm from, I'm just gonna out dox myself. I'm from St. Louis, so I was watching the Cardinals game,
Right.
and they were losing to Pittsburgh of all teams, which is infamously they're the worst team in the
Yes.
NL
Yeah.
Central. And yeah, then I see the Yankees and I see big ass Aaron Judge, and then it was like number 62. I was like, that's history right there.
Yeah.
To quote Uncut Gems, that's history right there.
That dude's a beast. Judge is a beast for sure.
Yeah, his bat is also like 3 feet long.
Yeah.
He's
So much power behind
massive.
that. It's crazy. It's crazy what he can do. So it's like sensory overload watching all of those screens because it's not just baseball going on normally at those times. You've got in each sport that's on
Yeah,
going on
and
those
you get
screens.
to see like there's screens towards the right where there's the big betting pool, like it shows the odds.
Mhm.
Probably should have put down something for the Astros to win, as much as I hate the Astros. Would have made a lot of money.
I you know I learned that the hard way when I moved here. I bet a lot of baseball, and I thought I knew baseball. Apparently not, because it's a lot harder than people think when you think the team's going to run away with something. So
Oh yeah, it can just flip on a dime.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Don't even get me started on football and hockey. Like those are even football is even worse,
So
especially college football.
have you ever? So okay, so if you ever do come back to base, coming during like college football season during the bowl games, it's insane here,
I
and the
can
betting is
imagine.
nuts. The betting is nuts. So when so you say that you've only been the one time you want to come back. Was there something that you didn't get to do that you want to come back and try? You saw that you wanted to do something you want to see again?
Probably just a lot of the rides as well. I'm a big kid at heart, and
Yeah.
I know that there was like a bunch of roller coasters and stuff, and
Mhm.
I really wanted to do that, but we didn't really have time. Um, did get to go to um some of like the bigger places, like there's the big strip mall with all the big fashion stuff with
Yeah.
all the big brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and I'm like, how the hell do people pay thousands of dollars for these bags? And they're not very big bags, they're just like average clothes. I'm like, you could find this at like a flea market. And it was cool though. Did one of the immersive experiences there. It was the Van Gogh exhibit. It
Oh, how was that?
was cool. It was cool. It was like they showed a lot of his paintings and stuff, but everything was moving. It felt like what they used for Mandalorian, which was like the big volume.
Mhm.
Because like once it was done, you just see this big domed room, and everything was lit up. There was these benches to sit on, and it was just one of those things you just sit down quietly and just take it all in.
So if I
Played some
remember right,
really nice
that's
music.
that experience has like been one of the most popular ones we've seen and here in Vegas, and that's cool to hear because I've always wanted to do it. So now that I know that it's worth it, I'll have to go check that out for sure. For
Yeah, it's
sure.
for a good price, and you'll kill like maybe 2 hours.
Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. Kind of gets you that little break away from the casino, so you're not spending all your money right away at the machines. So
Yeah, just make
that's
sure that you
awesome.
bring about as much as you want to spend.
Right.
Is the advice I can give.
I think the other advice I tell a lot of people too is 3 days Vegas is probably a good amount of time to spend. Especially if you're going to stay in a place like the Aria, you might 2 to 3 days. Cause yeah, like you said, that's a spendy place, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it's not as, people think of the Luxor or something, and it wasn't a first class room or whatever, like one of those like 3 or 4 like hallway looking rooms. It
Right.
wasn't that. It was just regular like 1 bedroom place. It was very nice though.
But it was nice. And I'm imagining all of the outlets and the lights and everything worked in the room, hopefully.
Yeah, the city life at night is it's busting.
Did you have a view of the strip from where you were?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's a really good room then. Holy crap.
Yeah, we
So
were trying to also find a show because everybody seems to have a residency there. And
yeah.
I mean like everyone, but
Yeah,
we were just like, yeah, we'll need an arm and a leg to get a ticket to
for
somewhere.
sure. And if you don't, yeah, especially if you don't plan it out ahead of time and you come in and try to get it the day of those shows, they can be a little more spendy. But the shows are worth it. I'm a big fan of the Cirque du Soleil shows. If you're ever into those are really good. There are some that are like not as spendy. Mad Apple is one I've been promoting a lot to people. It's on New York, so it's like the other end, but it's, I think it was like $69 for a ticket for us, and it was a small theater, great show, great seats. So something like that would be totally worth it if you ever come back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Plenty to drink.
What was your drink of choice?
My drink of choice?
Yeah.
Choice? Anything with vodka in it, so like or gin and tonic.
Okay.
Yeah,
You,
but
you
if I
recommend
really feel like I really want to be spendy, I'll just get an old fashioned.
Yeah. That's straight to my heart. I love old fashions. Those are like the greatest things. So
Yeah, I blame my grandpa for that because he loves them.
yeah. Bullet type of bourbon in there or what? Do you have a preference?
No, not really. Just
No.
any kind of whiskey is fine. Oh, whiskey, um, right over
Oh
there.
wow.
So
Okay, so yeah, I hate whiskey.
yeah,
I see. That's why I think when you come to Vegas, we'll have to go out for a drink because I'm a huge whiskey fan. So we'll get along right there perfectly fine. That's so awesome. I'm gonna have to watch this video like 5 more times after this because I still can't believe that guy was diving into the water like that. It looked like he was coin diving, to be honest. Every time I see that,
he might have been, but I still think it was just an excuse just to
get in the water.
wash off because yeah, it was nuts though. Just
Did you get to walk up and down the strip, see a lot of it, or did you guys stay in a certain area?
oh no, we decided to just walk down it or drive down it. Went to this pinball museum.
Yeah.
It was like being in an old arcade. It was really cool. So we
Okay,
spent
so
a
the one on the
couple hours
strip,
there.
the pinball museum on the strip. Okay, so you're a pinball fan.
I do love pinball.
So you recommend that? Was it expensive to get in? How did that work?
No. It was just like you get in and however much money you want. So like we did like $20. You get that and converted to quarters.
Oh wow!
And because it's a big arcade,
Right.
essentially. And if you wanted more, you could just go up there. But they had like pinball machines and just other arcade stuff for pretty much everything, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Some of them did not work. Some of them were very, very old, and others were surprisingly like I saw a Mandalorian one, and I was like, I didn't even know they still made pinball machines
What?
for stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay.
seriously.
Interesting. I need to go. I need to check that out again. One of those places I need to add to my list now, even more now that someone's been there. So that's awesome. That is really cool. Was there anything else that you did? Anything else that you want to throw out there? You want to recommend to people that you did do, but you weren't expecting to be kind
You
of
ever
cool?
want to go to a Taco Bell that serves alcoholic beverages? I got a cherry Bacardi slushy, and I was just like, "This is a Taco Bell."
All right, for all the viewers, that is the Taco Bell Cantina on the Strip. I absolutely love that place. there's two floors. So if you don't recognize it, there's two floors. The stairs that go behind the restaurant, and you get a view of the strip up there, and it's like a little DJ dance kind of thing. It's tiny, but shit goes on. So
Yeah, there was a
I
party
recommend
that night, so we didn't end up going on the second floor, but we didn't really need to. We were just there for just regular Taco Bell.
Taco Bell that serves alcohol.
That serves alcoholic slushies.
That was it busy when you guys went?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was decent. I can definitely tell that it's much busier during like summertime and spring break and all that stuff. I was surprised that there were kids there.
Yeah.
I kept forgetting that. Oh yeah, because when you think of Vegas, you typically think of like young adults to older people. There were a lot of old people. I mean, if I felt like I was in Florida
Oh wow.
because you know all the old folks retire over there.
Right.
I was like, they either go to Vegas or Florida, I guess, because they
So
were just lining up all the penny slots.
so it was like midday, I would imagine then.
It was.
Yeah. I've been there at night, around right when the clubs get out, is when you see like the really drunk young 20-year-olds lining up for Taco Bell, and it's hilarious to see. It's a shit show out there for sure. But that's awesome, man. I really hope you do come back and let me know, because I love having stories and love to have you back on to tell more stories.
Well, if any other crazy shit happens, sure. I was not approached by any escorts or hookers. I was warned that like 6 different times, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen, and that's fine.
Did you get offered any drugs?
No,
Okay.
surprisingly.
It happens a lot more than you think to people, and it's just like the most random thing. They'll just walk up and whisper it to you right in your ear. That actually happened to me this past weekend for my birthday. Some guy just walked up and just walked by and asked me if I wanted Coke, and I was just like, "What?
Okay.
Like, do I look like that kind of person? Like, I don't understand."
Are we in the 80s?
Yeah,
Where
for real.
like you
Yeah.
just have them out on like a sample tray or whatever. But
Uh,
happy late birthday, man.
Thank you, appreciate it. Did you? Okay, and I have to ask. I love asking this question, but did you get to see anybody walking around with those giant like yard drinks, the slushies that they sell like from Fat Tuesdays or anything? Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't. I was looking for that. Did see some Vegas showgirls out
Walking
on
around?
the walking around. You know, they're just like, you can take a picture, but you got to pay. I understand that's how they make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Did not do that.
Right.
But
Was it just, did you see any of like the cop ones or any of the other ones?
I did see a few cop ones.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people, you get some bizarre looking characters. You could play a pretty good game of Guess Who.
It's almost like you need to have bingo cards when you're walking down the strip to see what you see, because not only do the girls out there, the showgirls, but you have the guys out there in their different costumes. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, the Mario Brothers.
Oh, they
There's,
are all knockoff dime
yeah,
store. It is crazy.
the Transformers. I think the favorite one I haven't seen them recently, but there's a group of guys who'd go around in diapers like they're Cupid. And these guys are like not the good looking guys. They're the ones who are probably swimming in the water at Bellagio. So it's,
No. Did see Bumblebee.
Oh, you did see Bumblebee.
I did see a Bumblebee. It was cool. They were probably on stilts or something.
Probably, yeah. So that's the strip, and I would imagine you saw some interesting ones on Fremont when you were.
Yes. Yes, pretty much whatever character you can think of, like knockoff Avengers. There were literally people in like Spirit Halloween costumes just trying to make a quick buck. People in like cardboard. It was they're out there hustling. You gotta hustle out there, especially if you wanna live in Vegas. You gotta definitely pay.
Right, for sure. And what I love is people think like the strip's bad. Don't get me wrong, the strip has its own connotations of what goes on there, but as soon as you get to Fremont, you're in a whole different world of people. The drinks are cheaper, the gambling's different, and then you get the people who are on Fremont who are dressed in almost nothing or overdressed and stuff. And
Oh yeah,
it's not a kid. Let's put it. Fremont's not a kid place. The strip isn't a kid's place, but Fremont for sure. Kids after a certain time shouldn't be around there. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I should be around there sometimes. I feel
There was the whole on the strip. Like there's the zip line, which I really wanted to do, but we didn't end up doing. And there was a tent for the Chippendales. And of course I was like, yep, I was waiting for them to pop up.
Yep. The zip line one. I recommend if you do it, do the one that's laying down, the Superman one, because it goes the entire length of the screen. So for the slot,
Yeah, I think that might have been the one that I saw.
yeah,
I really
that's
wanted
the
to
one to
do
do.
that. I'm a massive Superman fan, so that's like
Oh
a
yeah, okay.
pretty cool.
Well,
I mean,
perfect.
like I got a tattoo of him, so
I got myself my Iron Man, so
Iron Man.
huge nerd. So there's that one, and then there's the other one on the strip now too. They have at the Link Promenade. That's another zip line. It's not as good as the Fremont one. So if you're gonna do one, do that one on Fremont. That's hands down my favorite. And then the roller coaster you're talking about at New York, New York. I do that at least once a year. I recommend doing that too because that was pretty badass if you're a thrill ride seeker. So that's the one to go to.
Nice. Yeah, there was a lot of. I was surprised at the amount of coasters there as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to do here in Vegas that people don't realize that there's here to do. My last guest, my cousin Haas Moose. I don't know if you've seen him on the other show.
Yeah.
Him and I used to do. We've done the virtual reality they have here, and it's amazing. We've talked about it on that show, and it's another cool thing that people don't realize is here in Vegas. It's tiny little virtual reality room, but it's full immersive. It's pretty badass. So if you like that kind of stuff too, that's the way to go.
Like if you want to find something, you could probably find it in Vegas if you look hard enough.
Yes, exactly. And I recommend to everyone watching, the strip's great, Fremont's great, but if you wander off just either side of the strip, there's actually other cool things to do that aren't, as advertised on the strip. So something to check out.
Yeah, because when you typically think of Vegas, you think of um, gambling, and yeah, of course, there's the blackjack tables, the craps tables. It's fun to watch craps. It's different.
Mhm.
Uh, I knew I was not smart enough to play craps or blackjack or any of those things, but watching that's a whole different ballgame.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
and everyone's trying to look as cheap as possible because everyone's like in a hoodie or at most they're like in a collared shirt
Yep.
and shorts and they're just trying to look like they don't have a lot of money because obviously if you do um, you have the possibility of getting jumped. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I never had that problem because I just blend in, so I was very lucky in that regard.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to think, especially when you are winning money, people around you realize it. There was someone here, a local, about 2 weeks ago, won a couple $1 million, and he had full security walk him out of the building, surround him, and walk him out of the building because of how much money he was carrying. Because you're right, it does happen. People get robbed or followed out, and if you can
That's
look the part.
another advice. Don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, that's just great advice for Vegas. Period. Don't do it.
Well, that's also just great life advice. Don't draw attention to yourself because that just means that you got something to prove.
Yeah, or something that someone's gonna want from you. So, well, cool. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate that story. I appreciate the video. It was fantastic, and I hope you come and visit. You come back on the show and have another story for us.
Yeah, no problem, Ryan.
Is there anything you want to plug for yourself before we call it a night?
Sure, I do a podcast with my friend Raul, and it's called "See You Next Summer." Our Twitter is at SYNS Pod. The first couple letters are capitalized, but we just talk about generally just movies and try to recap that. And it's mainly just an excuse just for us to have a conversation. And I actually do got to record after this, so it's actually perfect timing.
Yeah, no, it's
But yeah,
awesome.
I just do that, and then just follow me on Twitter at Master of Puns 196, and I'm usually just there. I don't usually tweet my own stuff. I just like other people's stuff because I'm just too lazy. And yeah, I'm also just one of those freelance guests. If you need me for anything, so long as it's okay and you're a good person, I'm down for that.
So everyone, I'm going to put down below into the description your podcast and your Twitter, so everyone go out and reach out and check out Billy and his stuff. Thank you again for coming, Billy. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone again. I'm Cousin Ryan, and this was Beyond the Neon Veil. Check us out. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel because we got a lot of good stuff coming. Have a good night.